Boker Tov, everyone. Good morning. Shavua Tov. So we are continuing in Siman Reish Samech Vav, talking about a case where you are traveling and now all of a sudden it became Shabbat and you didn't realize the time. So again, cases that could happen. The case that we spoke about was you are with, the case before we spoke about that you are with an animal and you're with a non-Jew and you have money on you, where do you put it? And now, continuing on that vein, Seif Gimel, so let's say you have an animal with you, but this time you don't have a non-Jew. You have three people. Cheresh, Shoteh, Katan. So these are often put together in Gemara for like the same type of person in a certain way. Cheresh is a person that's deaf, lo alenu, but Cheresh in the Gemara and Halacha means someone that's deaf and mute. So someone that's deaf and mute is considered in Halacha that his level of wisdom is not so strong. The next person is a Shoteh. Shoteh is actually someone that's not fully there. And a Katan, someone that's below bar ba mitzvah. So, well, they're pretty much there. They're 12 years old, 11 years old. They're pretty good. But they're still considered weak, and they're not, in their mind, they're still a child. So let's say you have your animal, and you have one of these three with you, and now Shabbat. Now you got your money on you. What do? Says the Shulchan Aruch that you put it on the animal. Even though before you said, give it to the goy. If you have the goy and the animal, give it to the goy, because the animal belongs to you, and the animal has to keep Shabbat also. The goy doesn't have to, but you could be lenient. You still can't tell the goy directly in general, but you could in this case. We want you to be lenient, because or else you're going to just keep the money on you. So give it to the goy. Here, if you have one of those three, cheresh, shoteh, katan, or an animal, put it on the animal. Because one of these three, they, especially the katan, but even all of them, they're Jews, we're talking about, and therefore they're not obligated to mitzvot, but they are Jews. And if you give it to them, you might come next time if you have a case like this, and you're with another Jew, say, guy's not religious, whatever. Oh, just give it to me, I'll hold it for you, right? So better to put it on the animal than to give it to another Jew, even if the other Jew is a cheresh shoteh katan. The next case, now we lost the animal. So haya imo cheresh v'shoteh. Now you have a cheresh and a shoteh. You have a deaf mute, and you have someone that's not well. So yitinenu l'shoteh, give it to the person that's not well. The fisho she'en bo dat klal, because he doesn't have dat at all. At least the person that's deaf mute, he has knowledge, but he's not like he's the person that's not well is worse. And just an explanation as to why someone that's deaf mute is considered like someone that has a weaker knowledge. And the answer is that you're alone. Lo aleinu, if you can't hear, you can't speak. Also, you're alone, even though you might be have some sort of knowledge. Being alone, even though you're alive and whatever, it diminishes a person's knowledge. Next case, a person has a shoteh v'katan. You have someone that's not well, or a child, someone that's under bar mitzvah. Give it to the person that's not well, because the child is eventually going to grow up. If you have a child and you have a cheresh, the last option, someone that's deaf mute or a child, give it to either one. Give it to either one, because the deaf mute, he's an adult. He's a deaf mute. The child is normal, but he's still a child. So each one has a plus, each one has a minus. So you give it to either or. And just to point out, the last point is that this is all if Shabbat already happened. It's like, oh my gosh, it's Shabbat right now. What do I do? Then we do the above. But if, let's say, it's right before Shabbat, it's still not Shabbat. You still have to get to your destination, and you still, in 5 minutes, I'm going to have to figure this out. But it's still not Shabbat yet. You could give it to any one of these cases, even though, meaning, let's say the katan is the last option, because they're going to be, they're pretty normal. And the truth is, your best option for you is you'd rather give it to the katan, you'd rather give it to your son instead of someone else, or instead of putting on the animal. So you could do that if it's before Shabbat. Or let's say you have everybody with you. You have the animal, you have the goy, you have the three here. You'd rather, let's say, want to give it to your son to hold on to. Most trustworthy, but he's below bar mitzvah. But so if it's still not Shabbat yet, even though it's going to roll into Shabbat like this, you could do whichever option you want. Okay, hopefully we won't get stuck in such situations, but this is just some information, important information to know. A few announcements. Number one, we want to wish Mr. Amiel a safe trip home, or not home, sorry. Safe trip to Florida, second home. We wish you back coming home soon. We miss you. As you see, you're number 10 today, so Chazak Baruch. Thank you so much. Nesiyat Tova. We have Minchat 5:15, followed by Arvit, followed by the Tu B'Shvat Seder. We hope to see you all there, the wives and kids. Hopefully, that should be nice. That's tonight at 6 p.m. It's not a dinner. It is a fruit dinner type of thing. And as you know, and you go home and eat your dinner yourself at home afterwards or before. So that's at 6 o'clock to be Shabbat Hashem. Have a good day, everyone, and Shavuot Tov.